Welcome back to CBD. I am your pilot JT, and today we're going to be talking about my latest build, the 3-inch Xilo Phreak. That's spelled PH as opposed to F. This frame can be found at GetFPV. It's where I purchase probably 90% of my parts, simply because the prices aren't too bad, but the customer service is phenomenal. Sean, Andy, all those guys over there always taking care of me, so I keep going back. This is a 3-inch quad. This is a speedy little bastard, but very important with a 3-inch. You have to find the perfect battery to get really good performance out of it. And I don't mean just power. I mean power to size ratio, power to weight ratio. So before I get into the quad itself, I want to go over the batteries that I tried, because I originally just came in and threw a 4S 1500 milliamp battery on it, which is huge and weighs quite a bit for a quad of this size. So I'll show you what I did when it comes to the batteries, and I'll tell you which one I think performs the best on this platform. So I'm going to get my scale out here. This is just a cheap little scale. It's not going to be exact. It's not state registered or anything like that. Just a quick pickup at the local store. So I originally started out with the 4S 1500 milliamp gold bat battery. This is not a mainstream brand or anything, but I love these batteries. These are what's called Gold Bat, G-O-L-D-B-A-T, and 2 of them for like 37 bucks, and they work great. Very little sag at the end.
I want to let you know where that sagging shit started. It started in the penitentiary area. Them bags in there would sag to advertise their ass. They get out of jail, nigga, and they put their drawers on still sagging, but try to play like they men. The kids thought the shit was slick, and the kids start sagging. You sagging? Sagging is fagging.
I buy a bunch of them because not only are they cost efficient, but they are, in my opinion, they're a great battery. I've purchased the high-end batteries, and I can't tell much of a difference, but Amazon, $37.99 for 2 of them.
Well, the sign says that it's 4 quarters for an hour, but a quarter only gets you 15 minutes. So if my math is correct, that's not an hour.
This battery here, 4S, 1500 milliamp, and we're looking at 186.7 grams. That's going to be with a little bit of electrical tape around it to hold the balance lead from flopping around and getting in my prop. I wrap all of my batteries. So again, 4S 1500 milliamp, we're looking at 186.7 grams. Now, putting this battery on this quad, it performs phenomenal. You can tell that there is some weight on it because the damn thing weighs probably about the same as the quad. Actually, let's take a look and see. So the quad itself, 211.9. Yeah, 212 grams. 212 grams and 186.7 grams. So it's damn near carrying its weight. But that's what I started out with, and I said there's gotta be a lighter battery that would work on this and still put out the performance that I'm looking for.
You say you're a little tired this morning, is that right?
I am tired.
So then I purchased the Gold Bat 4S 1300 milliamp. Now this battery here, it comes in at 170 grams, 169.8 grams. And it's the same thing. I mean, I couldn't really tell a difference between this one and the 1500 milliamp. So I said, I'll take some weight off and I'll go with a 3S 1500 milliamp and see where I'm at. Of course, when you bump up in cells, you're going to get more power, but for S&Gs, I thought I'd give it a shot. And this battery comes in at 142.6 grams.
I heard your favorite activity to do at the center here is to take a little nap.
Take a nap many times as I can.
142.6 grams before I wrap it, and it just, as soon as I put that on there, it was nowhere near the same. So I knew I was going to be in a 4S, but to keep going down the line and try to find that perfect battery, I kept going.
You sound like a very busy lady.
So then I moved on to the 3-cell 1300 milliamp by Lumineer, and this battery comes in at 108.5 grams. A little bit better, but missing that 4S power. This is a good choice though if you're just doing some freestyling around. I like to go super fast all the time. I like to do a lot of punch outs, and I like to just full out throttle a lot. So this would work for some normal freestyle flying. It actually worked really good, and this is a good battery. But I'm looking for that 4S power. But I continued down the line because I wanted to try everything. I wanted to exhaust all means before I chose the right battery. This one here, I went with a 2-cell 1000 milliamp, and this just wasn't going to work. But it was fun. I literally had to go full throttle with this thing the whole time just to keep it up off the ground. And this battery here comes in. This is a 3-cell 1000 milliamp. This is a 3-cell 1000 milliamp. This battery comes in at 89.5 grams. Now we move on to the 2-cell 1500 milliamps. I didn't realize how long these batteries were. If you look at it, it's freaking huge. So this battery comes in at 88.7 grams before I wrap it. This is the battery I was talking about, no power. This battery here, I was literally full throttle the whole time just to keep it up off the ground. And that wasn't going to work for me. So 2-cell out, 3-cell maybe, 4-cell's where it's at, but you got to get a low milliamp to keep that weight down.
We'll probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
This is my Xilo Phreak, and I'm going to let you take a look at that. I've got a 20 by 20 micro stack inside of it. That is the Lumineer Microlux V3, and I got it pretty tight. It's a nice clean build. I've got some buttoning up left to do, but we're going to get into it, and I'm going to show you what I've got in this build.
I get $5 a turd for these things, so I get jumping right up and down. I get excited when I see a turd.
So, being a 3-inch build, I thought I'd be able to knock this out a little bit cheaper than a 5-inch quad, but that wasn't the case. These things do cost a little bit of money, and I've actually got quite a bit in this for a small little quad.
I get $5 a turd for these things, so I get jumping right up and down. I get excited when I see a turd.
I'm gonna guesstimate maybe around $400 with everything, because I normally don't buy cheap parts. I buy a lot of the same parts, and sometimes people will say, well, doesn't that get boring building the same thing over and over again?
So I get jumping right up and down. I get excited when I see a turd.
And not really, because every frame's a challenge. So to me, it's about putting quality parts in it. That way it lasts, it performs, and that way I'm not walking way out in the field or climbing a tree or fighting with a tree to get my quad back when a part fails, simply because it's cheap. So I always try to put good quality parts in all of my quads.
This fucking thing is junk.
Now, I'll do some of the, how cheap can you build it type stuff. But if I lose that stuff, I'm not really concerned about it. Of course, I don't want to, but if I lose $200 compared to $400 or $500 or $1,000, I'm not really that concerned. So,
my wife's boyfriend sold his prosthetic leg on Craigslist to afford me the opportunity to be here, but they get alone time, and I get a chance to be in Omaha, and my double wide trailer will turn into a single wide when I get home. But we got a Fund Me page that I get to go check at the local library on the line. So I get to go check that GoFundMe page, and as soon as I get enough money to afford him a new leg at the end of next year, we're going to be right back.
I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to show you what I've got in this thing. Let me unhook the VTX here, and I'll show you what I've done. So, like I said, I do have the 20 by, like I said, I have the 20 by 20 Microlux V3 by Lumineer. They do make a version 2, but I went with the V3 on this one. Nice little stack. It is D-Shot 1200, and it's a little powerhouse, 30 amps. You can do 30 amps with this little teeny stack that's in here. So with all of my quads, I tend to use the Caddx Turtle V2, which is a 1080 HD cam. It flies in 720, it records in 1080, and with a set of Fat Sharks, the Fat Shark HDOs, picture quality is phenomenal. But it takes a little bit of, getting those wires exactly right, tucking everything, getting good solder points on them, and then adjusting the camera out to get a good image. And you'll see in some of my quads, they're not set up the best, and that's just because I'm anxious to get out and fly them. I normally go out and fly them, and then I come in and adjust the image and all that at a later time. I'm just really excited to finish the build and get out and fly it, do all the adjustments later. But that's what I've done with this one. I've got the Caddx Turtle V2, and picked that up at Get FPV. And actually, I've picked this entire thing up at Get FPV. This is the new VTX by Unify, and this is the MMCX version, and this thing has 1 full watt of power. They just came out with this thing. Normally it's 800 milliwatts, but the new Unify Pro MMCX, 1 full watt of power. Make sure you got your ham license, by the way, if you're gonna use that. Now with mine, I normally fly, because I'm out in the country and I don't have a lot of interference. So I normally fly my quads around here, around the house, at about 200 milliwatts. I found that puts out plenty of power for me, 200 milliwatts, and even when I go into the city, I might bump it up to 500 milliwatts, but a full watt of power, I don't see ever needing that, but as soon as I say that, I probably will. So this Unify Pro, it's 7 volts all the way up to 26 volts input. You have your ground, your video, your audio, and 5 volts out. I was hoping to have 7 pins with the smart audio and the audio together, because I do record my audio. But I wasn't all that concerned if it didn't have it. I wasn't sure if it did have it, but I wasn't concerned if it didn't have it, because the Caddx Turtle V2, it has a built-in mic. Come to find out, once I got this, it did not have the option to use audio and smart audio at the same time. The reason I tried this, it wasn't really so much for the power, but it was for the MMCX connection. That is a super strong connection. A lot better than that UFL, and if you unplug the UFL and plug it back in a lot, it's eventually going to wear out and break. This thing's a beast. Once you plug this thing in, for one, it's not coming out unless you purposely take it out. and it's just got a much better connection. As far as my antenna, I went with the Fox ear, and actually this Fox ear that I have came on the Avant Double that I had purchased, and my last video was about the Avant Double. I ended up taking that VTX off and using Unify Pro because I don't like to use anything but Unify Pro. So I utilized this antenna on this build because it is an MMCX connection, and not a bad antenna. It's the number 2 Lollipop by Fox Ear. Not bad at all. It does what it's supposed to do, and I was able to purchase at GetFPV the antenna mount. So that cleans it up nice and neat. It's not just hanging out the back. It's not flopping around. I don't have to add zip ties to it. I just throw that thing over the standoffs, put that down in there, and look how nice and clean that thing looks. As far as the motors, I went with the Avenger series on the Brother Hobby. These are 4100 kVs, 1507 4100 kVs. First time ever using this motor. It's got a lot of nice cog for this small of motor. I haven't flown it enough to give you a really good opinion on it. From what I've flown so far, I like these motors. I'm pretty impressed with them. Brother Hobby puts out a really good motor. A little bit on the pricey side, but again, you're gonna get what you pay for. So I don't like to pull any punches when I'm purchasing equipment for my quads. I want to have the best of the best, or what I can find. These are the new, or I don't know how new they are, but these things are made of Kevlar. I get so tired of breaking straps, either by tightening it while I'm putting the battery on, or if I happen to crash, a lot of times I'll break the straps. And I've got a ton of different types of straps, a ton of different brands. I get straps when I order batteries. I buy straps. I'll get straps for promoting people's companies. So I've got a ton of them. Every single one of them has broken though. So I found these again on GetFPV. These are Kevlar straps, and they're supposed to be indestructible. I've not had any crashes since I put these on, so can't tell you what it does, but just by handling it, it's a good sturdy strap. I definitely recommend these. Again, you can pick these up at GetFPV. Kevlar straps by Lumineer, and they are supposed to be indestructible. So I've talked about everything now except the frame itself. This frame is the new Xilo Phreak, Phreak, by Xilo. They also make batteries. Actually, they make pretty good batteries. I seen it on there. It was one of the new items that had come out. I said, yeah, I want to build that. It's pretty lightweight, but this thing is built like a tank. Super lightweight. It's got really good carbon fiber, very high quality, and I would definitely recommend this frame if you're looking to get into a new build. I think you can purchase this in just about any size, 3-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, the most common sizes at least. The Xilo Phreak, I like that it's got the bottom split so you can put the strap through there. I hate building a new quad and then there's no place to put the damn strap. You're having to either run it over the top, which I mount my VTX to the top, so I hate that rubbing on there. So it does have a place to put the strap. It also comes with the battery pad. Now, speaking of battery pad, I normally use the Grip. I seen this on a Rotor Riot video not too long ago, and this stuff is super sticky, and when it becomes dirty, you're gonna, it will catch debris and stuff like that. But the cool thing is you run some water over it or just wipe it off and it becomes sticky again. This stuff is ridiculous sticky. I believe on the Rotor Riot video, they put a battery on this stuff and then took off flying without the strap, and the battery literally stuck to it. So now if the frame comes with it, I do like when the frame does come with a battery pad, because it is cut precisely for the frame itself. So I always try that first. If that thing's not worth a damn, or if it starts peeling off, I have no problem. I'll grab some of the grip, cut it up, fit it to my frame, and I'm good to go. So that is my new 3-inch Xilo Phreak. If you're looking for a really cool 3-inch build, that's where it's at. Stop by Get FPV to check that out. You can pick it up for a really good price. It should be right on the homepage. I am not paid or endorsed by Get FPV. I just happen to shop there a lot and buy like 90% of my parts there, simply because they have great customer service. Simply because when I call there and have a question, they don't rush me off the phone. They help me with anything I need help with. They're not going to build the thing for you over the phone, that's for sure. But they'll definitely be there to help and give you good customer service. So, Xilo Phreak 3-inch build. I'm JT, your pilot with Country Boy Drones. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. And until I see you next time.